Hello viewers, welcome to the new Big Time Gaming edition, the second in the Clusters series. It's called Cyberslot Megaclusters, and you'll see straight away it's pretty different from the original Star Clusters Megaclusters. It would appear it's a bit more volatile, a bit harder to get the free spins on, but we'll have a look at it. The RTP is 96.36%, 96.36%. As before, you need 5 or more adjacent symbols to get a winning cluster. The first thing you'll notice is you get a persistent wild which moves around, as you will see. So that gives you an indication. You will also get, as well as the persistent wild, you will also get one of the 9 squares every spin will be already subdivided into 9 symbols, as you can see there next to the wild. So that's your second difference in the original game. You can get an increasing multiplier in the base game, as you can see. So every time that floating wild is used, the multiplier increases. So we'll look into the rules a bit so you can understand that a bit better. There's your pays. Top symbols 25 or more is 25 times bet for the purple. In fact, they're all 25x, all the top 3 colours. The traditional purple, red and blue. For 25 or more is 25x. The only difference is when you start getting lower than 25, the difference tells. And 0.4 for the minimum cluster. That's the lower values. So you've got 7 symbols in total apart from the wilds. Okay, and we know about the clusters, how they work. Well, I've just explained every spin in the base game, a position is chosen at random to display the 9 smaller symbols. As your reactions, you get replacements, we know that already. That's your regular wild, which can appear large or small. That's your roaming wild, which increases in multiplier each time it's used. And the rainbow roaming wild is awarded on the first 3 spins re-trigger. So when you get a re-trigger, you get a rainbow wild, and that also increases in multiplier. And there you go, I've explained the increase in multiplier. In the 3 spins, you only get 81 positions. So it's not like the original game where it's subdivided into 256 tiny squares. In the 3 games you'll only be getting the max, the 81 squares. But when you've got a large wild, it makes it a bit easier. So, now your trigger is a lot harder. You need 12 or more reactions in the base game to trigger the 3 spins, but you do get 6 as opposed to 2, a minimum of 2 on the old one. Any multiplier you've accrued during the trigger will carry over, as you can see by the picture below. You get 2 extra spins for getting a 10 times increment in the multiplier on the roaming wild, and the first re-trigger also adds the rainbow roaming wild. So, and that's your adjacent clusters. I'll just show you the RTP, which is 96.36 as I said. We've pretty much seen all that, so we'll just go straight on with it. Obviously one of the criticisms of the original Star Clusters was the squares got very tiny, didn't they, in the free spins, and it was very hard to follow. Some people found it gave them a headache, or it took too much concentration or whatever. But you don't have that issue here. As you can see, because of that large wild, it's easier to get wins. So although you do need 12 consecutive actions to trigger the free spins, it is made easier by the setup. So what I'll do is leave this on autoplay, come back to you and hopefully bring you a feature. I just thought I'd point out to you one positive aspect of this is that on the original Star Clusters, for example, straight away you could tell that you weren't going to get a winning action by the position of the undeveloped squares, like the large squares, like you see the two blues up the top there. On Star Clusters, you knew if they were locked in, you couldn't possibly activate them and trigger another action, therefore leading eventually to free spins. You knew. Whereas on this, because you've got the roaming wild, if you think the spin's all over, it could just move to position and sit next to a block of 4 and give you another win and so on. So it's far more interesting visually, because you can't categorically say on any spin that the wins are going to stop right now, because the wild could move to the right place. So that's one thing I like about it. There's the 3 spins, I think. If you look at those 6 squares on the meter up the right hand side, each one of those squares is illuminated by 2 actions. I didn't get the 3 spins, sorry. I was one short. I've got 11 actions there, sorry. But when you illuminate these 6 squares, you've got to be aware that each action illuminates, to fully illuminate the square, it's got an outer edge and an inner edge, as you can see. The outer edge is your first action, the inner edge fills in on the second action for that square. So when you've completely coloured in all those 6 squares up the right, that's when you trigger the 3 spins, obviously. I made a mistake there. I looked at the top one and saw it half lit and thought I triggered it, but I hadn't. Okay, we've got a trigger. Oh, we might get the instant re-trigger. I think we have. No? Yes, got the instant re-trigger. No, didn't quite get it. Yes, we have. Instant re-trigger. Well, 46x on the trigger. That means we get the Rainbow Wild. So this is a trigger you want. You start at 10x and you've actually got the Rainbow Wild active straight off. Come on then, let's have a look. You've got a 36x there, haven't you? If you can get them together. Ooh, look at that with purples. That's got to be big. Biggish. This is going on a while. Not bad. I think I made an error earlier. You do actually get the small squares. I thought for a moment they'd cut it to 81 squares, but obviously I was wrong. Just point that out. Come on. And obviously we can get a second re-trigger by getting to 20. Oh, that's got to be big. 49 quid. 7 times 14 on some red. I presume if the rainbow wire gets to 10x, you'd get a re-trigger as well, wouldn't you? Ah, we don't like dead spins, come on. Well, some greens to both multipliers, crikey. Well, this is a good bonus. It's worth waiting for. Two chances of getting a re-trigger. Assuming the rainbow does it, I presume it does. It's one thing I wasn't clear about before I started the video. We'll have a look. Let's see if that is right. Come on, rainbow, give me a multiplier. You can get one. Be interesting just for informational purposes if it does do it. Obviously the rainbow wire doesn't actually give you 2 extra spins if you get it to 10x. Or does it? No, that's it. Well, that's not bad, is it? 377x. Well, there you go, that's Cyberslot Megaclusters. I don't need to play for another feature on it because this one is an ample demonstration. It paid quite well. And we've learned a couple of things that I wasn't clear about at the start, that you do get the small squares in the free spins. The breakdown to the smallest possible squares, and you don't get extra spins for getting the rainbow wild up to 10x, but only the roaming wild, the standard wild. Anyway, thank you for watching. This looks like it's going to be a good one. I think it's a big improvement on star clusters, mega clusters, and I'd be interested to see what you guys think about it. You see the video. Thanks for watching.